Today we're going to be talking about the tower that has absolutely and utterly destroyed one of New York City's most iconic views of the Empire State Building. And that's this building right here, 262 Fifth Avenue. Now, this is an ultra-luxury condominium complex that sits just north of the beautiful Madison Square Park and just south of the iconic Empire State Building. So on today's walking tour, we're going to be talking about the real estate developer, we're going to be talking a little bit about the property, and we're going to have a discussion to see if New York City real estate developers should be allowed to build these mega tall structures that destroy some of the most iconic views that New Yorkers and tourists enjoy right here in New York City. So for some context, everybody, we're starting the tour on the corner of East 22nd Street and Broadway. This is one of my favorite areas in all of New York City. If we look over to the left, you're going to see the iconic Flatiron building. This building was just recently sold at auction. It is going to be converted into, you guessed it, luxury condominiums, which I think is probably going to sell really well, to be quite honest. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about as it relates to the Flatiron building is the awkwardness, potentially, of maybe some of the floor plans and the floor plates. Because if you're looking at the Flatiron building, facing north, looking southbound, it's a very, very narrow and slender building. So I don't really know how you're going to fit apartments in there. But then again, I'm not a famous architect, so I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out. We're going to head northbound now and stand on the corner of 23rd Street so we can get a little bit better view of 262 Fifth Avenue. While we're doing that, we'll briefly talk about the story of how this development came about. It's quite the interesting New York City real estate story. Indeed, but here you can see you used to have this just amazing dead-on view, this bang-on view of the Empire, and now it is totally blocked by this luxury apartment building. I guess the good news is whoever buys any units in that building are going to have exclusive access to those views. But the real estate developer on this deal is an Israeli-Russian billionaire. His name is Boris Kuznets. Now, originally, he bought 3 neighboring plots of lands right on Fifth Avenue in a process of assemblage in order to combine those lots to be able to build this building. The address was 260 Fifth Avenue, 262 Fifth Avenue, as well as 264 Fifth Avenue. He acquired those parcels of land in 2015 to 2016. For only $12 million bucks. It's pretty cheap if you're, kind of thinking about the overall sellout that this building could potentially have. But as a little bit of a reminder for you all, if you've ever watched our Billionaires Row walking tours, it's not enough oftentimes in New York City to just acquire the parcels of land. It's not like you can just go buy a building, knock it down, and then build a super tall as high as you want. It's not how it works. See, in New York City, air is also very expensive. So Boris Kuznets had to go out and buy the necessary air rights in order to build this tall building. He spent an additional $6 million on the air rights to build the height of this tower higher and taller than normally what was to be allowed in the neighborhood. I believe the building tops out around 860 feet, which is still, cartoonishly and ridiculously tall. But it was actually going to be over 1,000 feet tall, this building. Now, there's many reasons as to why they decided to whittle this building down to only 860 feet. Mainly had to do with market conditions, right? Throughout 2022 and 2023, the stock market topped in 2021, and the residential real estate market in New York City pulled back. So the new developers, the co-developers on the deal, decided to ratchet down the project a little bit, make it a little bit more exclusive, and cut the overall height of the tower down to 860 feet from 1,000 feet. We'll talk a little bit about how many units are going to be in the building. Out of this entire monstrosity, okay, this entire massive building, maybe you think, 100 units, maybe 120, maybe 80 on the low end. Well, if that's what you guessed, you'd be wrong. The original plans on the deal was for 41 units only. And now that they've whittled the project down even more, there's only going to be 26. I'll say that again. Only 26 units available for sale in this entire building. Every single unit in the building will have its own dedicated floor, or you'll have duplex apartments and one giant quadruplex at the top. Pretty crazy. In any event, this is the stunning view looking down at the Flatiron building, which is also going to be turned into luxury residential apartments. But here's the question that a lot of New Yorkers are asking. Here's a question that I'm asking. And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer here. But that view of the Empire State Building has been so iconic for years. You stand right in front of the Flatiron District, the Flatiron Building. You're looking northbound. You have these gorgeous views of the Empire State Building. At night, you can see the spire all lit up. And that's really going to be taken away from everybody in the community and essentially given to 26 potential people who live in the building. Now, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I'll let the audience be the judge and decide. One of the main amenities of that building at 262 Fifth Avenue is going to be a massive observation deck at the top. Only thing is, the observation deck is going to be exclusive for residents only and their guests. Kind of crazy. If you look at some of the renderings online, it's going to be this massive gold and chrome, essentially dome-like top. And that's going to provide a really nice canopy and a really nice overlay for that observation deck for those 26 individuals and their friends and family to enjoy those sweeping views of the Empire State Building, as well as looking downtown at the World Trade Center. So let me know what you think. We're going to head up Broadway, but I do want to make a quick right and just kind of walk the perimeter of Madison Square Park, because maybe you're interested in purchasing a unit there and you want to know what your neighborhood is going to be like on the ground floor. And I think you're going to be pretty impressed, particularly as you walk up Broadway. One of the great things that the city has done is close off the majority of Broadway south of 32nd Street and has made it pedestrian only, as well as widened those bike lanes. So before we head up Broadway here and look at all the nice restaurants, check out all the nightlife, because it is a Friday, I'd like to explore Madison Square Park with all of you, looking at this stunning miniature skyline, as I like to say, of Madison Square Park. Another fun fact, Jeff Bezos recently acquired his new apartment right on Fifth Avenue. And over the last few weeks, parts of Fifth Avenue were closed down entirely because Jeff Bezos needed to get his luxury furniture and all of his collectibles, if you will, in his apartment. So there were cranes all along Fifth Avenue because his stuff wouldn't fit in the elevator, so he had to rent a crane to lift it into his apartment. That may sound crazy, but it's actually not. We've actually had to do that on a few occasions. One of our listings at the Conover in Brooklyn, which was the main penthouse at the Conover, we wanted to put a cold plunge and a sauna on the roof deck of that apartment. It couldn't fit in the elevator, so they had to rent a crane and lift it up there. In any event, here's another view of 262 Fifth Avenue. I do like the design architecturally speaking, though. This is the main entrance to Madison Square Park, which is literally going to be in your backyard if you so choose to purchase a unit at 262 Fifth Avenue. We'll take a quick look around at the dog park here.
Yeah, oh, whoa, this dude ain't joking. Yeah. And like I said, you come in there doing something like that, and they know the footwork, the car takes 30 hours to get it.
This is the dog run. It's open from 6:30 a.m. to midnight.
But like I said, you got it.
Head up to the construction site in a minute. That is a huge plus to have the building so close to a park. That's one of the main reasons why I like Billionaires Row so much. People really underestimate the value of having an outdoor space here in New York City. And living at Billionaires Row right on 57th Street, you're not but 1 block away from Central Park. It's amazing. Now, Madison Square Park is no Central Park, but it's still quite nice nonetheless. This is one of the original Shake Shack locations in the city. But here we're going to see a really good view of the Empire State Building. As well as 262 Fifth. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about by how it blocks the Empire State Building as you're standing in front of the Flatiron Building. But from here, it's an unbelievable view. I think they're going to have to set a floor for each unit in that building. Probably sell for, on the low end, maybe 10 million bucks. What do you guys think? Check out that view of the Empire. That's what you used to be able to see. Right in front of the Flatiron Building. This view at night is amazing. And I want you guys to visualize how unbelievable those views are going to be from those full floor apartments at 262 Fifth Avenue. Like, could you imagine? The Empire State Building is literally going to look like it's in your living room. Hopefully I can get a tour of some of the units when the building is finished, but I could only imagine what that's going to look like. The Empire is literally going to feel like it's in your living room. It's just going to be amazing for those lucky 26 families who will be purchasing in the building. Right here, we're coming to Madison Avenue now and East 24th Street. This used to be the old Credit Suisse before they went under, and now UBS took over Credit Suisse. Such a beautiful building, isn't it? I really love the architectural integrity of it. Right here on the corner of Madison Avenue and East 24th Street. You could also have a really good view of One Vanderbilt. If you look closely, you can see the people inside the observation deck at One Vanderbilt, which is called Summit. I love this view because you can see that classic New York City water tower. I love those. how amazing the architecture looks here. Isn't that stunning? Just a really, really beautiful building. This is East 25th Street and Madison Avenue.
Yeah.
We're going to make a left on East 26th Street and head back to 5th Avenue, in which case we'll go all the way up to the construction site of 262 5th. Okay, we're now back on the corner of 5th Avenue and East 26th Street. Where we will go ahead and make this right. This is one of my favorite shots of the Empire State Building, by the way. Or, well, let me rephrase that for the purpose of this video. It was one of my favorite shots of the Empire State Building. As you can see a little sliver of the Empire here. And then in its way is the ultra slender 262 5th Avenue. I think we forgot to talk about just how slim that building is. Now, we've talked about a lot of the buildings on New York City's Billionaires Row, from the Steinway Tower, Central Park Tower, and 432 Park Avenue. 262 5th is going to be even more slim or slender than Harry Macklow's 432 Park. Each floor is only going to measure 45 feet by 45 feet and have an overall slenderness ratio of 19:1. Pretty insane. The building is so thin that the developer had to slam all of the elevators on the west side of the building. So you can kind of see what I mean here. If you look right here, this is the elevator bank. and your elevators are going to open right up into your dedicated units. Remember, 26 units in total. Every single floor is a dedicated unit, with some being duplexes, and crowning the top of the building is going to be a quadplex. This is East 57th Street and 5th Avenue. Just a beautiful, beautiful view we have. Like, really just imagine that for a second. I'll try to zoom in again. Your living room is going to open up right into the face of the Empire. It's an interesting juxtaposition amongst all of these pre-war buildings. So now that we're a little bit further away off to the east side of 262 5th, you can really grasp and understand just how amazing those views of the Empire State Building were for everybody. Virtually unobstructed. Pretty incredible, right? As we get to the base of the tower, you're really going to get an idea of just how slender and slim the building is. This is now the corner of 28th Street and 5th Avenue.
It's right there. The happy hour is like $5. Yeah. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Okay, here we are. 29th Street. Here it is, 262 5th Avenue. Look at how slender this thing is. Remember, a 19:1 slenderness ratio. It's pretty unreal. That's a cool shot of the Empire and 262 5th Avenue. At the base of the building, we're going to have retail space. And there's also going to be deeded parking spaces for sale. I'm not too sure how much each individual parking space is going to go for, but for context, if you're looking at an individual deeded parking space in Manhattan, on the high end, we've sold spaces for $750,000, and on the low end, we've sold spaces for around $135,000. It really just depends. If it's in a dedicated parking garage that is off-site, meaning that is not inside your own condo building, it's going to be less desirable. It's going to be worth a little bit less. Those spaces are probably going to go for around $175,000. But if it's in your own condo building, like here at 262, they're probably going to be priced perhaps $750,000 per space. Now, I don't know the exact layout, but I'm assuming there'll be individual deeded sales, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll stand right at the edge of the sidewalk so you guys could see those massive floor-to-ceiling glass windows. When you're right up against the facade of the building, you could really get an idea of just how amazing those views are going to be. Again, the developer, 5 Points Development. Head over to Broadway. I'm really excited for when we're able to stand right under it so you can see it a little bit better. When I was looking at the amenity package, I didn't see any swimming pool, but I did see they have a gym, obviously that rooftop terrace like we talked about, and then parking on site. I believe I mentioned this in a prior video, but parking is a very, very scarce asset in New York City. And if you're thinking about renting a parking space, really anywhere in Manhattan, if we're just talking in generalities here, you could expect to pay per month on the low end, I'd say about maybe $500 a month to park your car, to on the high end, you're looking around maybe $2,500 a month to park your vehicle in a parking garage, assuming you have what's called an exotic vehicle. They would probably charge you, over $1,500. An exotic car is something like a Ferrari, a Rolls Royce. Problem is, though, a lot of parking operators that I know, and there's really only maybe 5 big players in the space, they don't even take your exotic vehicles anymore because it's such a liability. They're really uninsurable. So it's not worth it for these parking operators to take your $2,500 a month and maybe your car gets a scratch. Nobody's going to insure that. It's just not worth it. So a lot of luxury car owners have to resort to purchasing their individual parking spaces. In addition, a lot of valet parking operators just want to get out of their deal and liquidate their assets. And an easy way to do that, by also maximizing the amount of money you get for the property, is by doing a condo conversion. And not the condo conversion that you're thinking of, not residential, but we're converting these individual parking spaces into deeded condo spaces. So let's say if you have 120 spaces in the garage, instead of selling the entire garage, you could just generate individual tax lots for each individual space and sell each space, at $200,000, $250,000 a space, right? Once all those spaces are sold, it would then create a condo board just like anything else, and then you would just pay your property taxes as well as your common charges. Oh, look at this. This is a really, really good shot of 262 Fifth. Oh my gosh, I mean, it looks like if you tap on the thing, it's gonna fall over, but that's how slender these new skyscrapers are. And it still looks extremely tall, 860 feet tall, down from the originally proposed over 1,000 feet tall. In any event, now that's a core part of our business. We help those parking operators through that process, right? So we deal with the AG, the Attorney General of New York. We get the approval for the condo conversion, and then we sell these individual spaces out for that kind of price range. 135 grand a space on the high end, 200K. But if it's in your building and it's a luxury building, you know, people will pay $750,000 for a parking space. Kind of back to talking about the neighborhood. This is essentially going to be your backyard. This is one of my favorite parts of the city. Walking down Broadway here and West 28th Street. As you can see, the city has really prioritized pedestrians now, closing down much of the street to vehicles and making it pedestrians only. Kind of looks very European in nature now. You also have great access to public transportation. You have the R and W trains. You could take it uptown in Queens or downtown in Brooklyn. This is actually one of the main entrances right here. But behind us is the brand new Ritz-Carlton Nomad. This is a great property, also having stunning views of the Empire State Building. So once again, the Ritz-Carlton Nomad, West 28th Street and Broadway. We'll now continue southbound on Broadway to explore some of the restaurants. Now across the street you have all brand new boutiques and shops opening. You have 7th Street Burger, a new pizza place, brand new Joe and the Juice. Pretty much all the retail storefront here is occupied. You have an e-soap. This liquor-infused ice cream bar is very, very unique. We'll give one more quick look uptown at the Ritz-Carlton Nomad. You can see all the nice landscaping. It says where New York meets New York, Flatiron Nomad Partnership. Really nice planters everywhere. They also included a lot of outdoor seating space to the public as well. I like this spot. I come here sometimes. This cha-cha matcha. It's a very lively area.
Almost birthday girl.
Now 21st Street is where they stop all of the vehicles. You can see it, just restaurant after restaurant after restaurant. With beautiful outdoor dining. You also have the Smith restaurant here. The Smith is great. There's multiple locations throughout the city. The one that I usually go to is up by Lincoln Center. And here you have more outdoor dining from the Smith. Again, there's really nice dedicated bike lanes. Mexican restaurant. It's really good energy and good environment. So if you live at 262 Fifth, I mean, your nightlife is quite literally right outside of your door. It's quite nice. They also just opened up a Miami Classic here. Pura Vida. The Pura Vida just opened maybe 2 or 3 months ago. There's another shot of the building. And here is some public seating space available, which is so great that they did this, because it's so much better to have all of this public outdoor space as opposed to just having a bunch of cars whizzing by. I mean, what do you guys think in the comments or in the chat? Would you much rather have this entire space be utilized for parked vehicles, or would you want really nice outdoor seating for the restaurants where people from the community can get together, eat, drink, have a good time? It's much better utilized like this. Way better utilization of the space. In my opinion, at least. Right here is 230 Fifth Avenue. This is a very, very famous rooftop. But I will warn you, it is very crowded here. But it's one of the most famous rooftop spots in New York City. 235th. The Skinny Louie place just opened, and I've only ever been to the one in Wynwood, Miami. A few months ago when I went back to my house, I went to this place, Skinny Louie in Wynwood, just to try it. I thought it was alright. A little different, but alright. And then on the corner of West 26th Street and Broadway is the Anita Gelato, which is always packed. There's usually never not a line out the door, so I'm a little surprised right now. Wow, it looks amazing.
Insecurity.
Nomad's an amazing, amazing, amazing place. And again, the city's made it so much better by prioritizing pedestrians over vehicles. This is really one of the main spots that I go to. It's an Italian restaurant. There's many locations all throughout the city.
What's one movie? There's one
There's so much seating. But overall, let me know what you guys think of 262 Fifth Avenue. A building that is absolutely destroyed, at least that's what some people say. The iconic views of the Empire State Building from right in front of the Flatiron Building. As a quick recap, 262 Fifth sits just north of Madison Square Park, but just south of the Empire State Building. The developer is Boris Kuznets, an Israeli-Russian billionaire that bought 3 neighboring plots of land in 2015 and 2016 at 260, 262, and 264 Fifth Avenue, combining those lots for a total of $12 million. He then went and acquired the air rights for $6 million to be able to build the tower over 1,000 feet tall. When all was said and done, the tower was whittled down to 860 feet, and from 41 units in total all the way down to about 21 units. Each floor measures 45 by 45 feet and has a total slenderness ratio of 19:1. Do you think this building should have been approved? Does it take away from the iconic views in New York City? And maybe some of you support it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until then, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Leave a like on the video and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for watching.